Okay, and we are going to record this session. So there will be only me on the screen, so no worry about it, I think. And if you're not okay with it, I will understand that you leave the session. No problem with that. So I'm going to try to share my screen. Here it is. So I think that you see develop your digital communication, which is the theme of the day. Okay, so how many are we? Do you see how many we are? Can you see? 53? 50? Okay, we are 50. I think it's okay, and that if people want to come, they will join, and with no problem. So let's go. So today we want to talk about how to develop your digital communication as an illustrator, as an artist. And my name is François Werckmann. I will be the host today. I'm a digital consultant, and I usually help my clients to define their online communication strategy and to optimize and implement their digital tools. So today, and for this webinar, I will explain you how to develop your online communication. And the purpose of the training is to give you the keys to use the digital tools at your disposal so that you can, under the best conditions, I hope, develop your visibility and your business online as an illustrator. So I won't be alone, as Rachel Hill from the AOI will also intervene in the second part of this webinar. But first, maybe let me present you the Invisible Line program, which is the program that hosts this webinar. So the Invisible Lines program, if you don't know it, it's a training course for young illustrators developed by the Foundation Cini and in partnership with 3 other associations. So Hamlin in Italy, Baobab Books in Czech Republic, and Central Vapeur here in France. So I'm French, maybe you have noticed it. The program of Invisible Lines is aimed at 12 young participants who took part in these 3 workshops, which led to 3 exhibitions. And the next one will take place in December at the Bilbol Festival, and in March here at the Central Vapeur Festival. So there will be another webinar, and maybe you won't save the date. It will be on November the 8th, and it will focus on international contracts. But I think that you have all the text and you have read that all. So this webinar, it's going to be, this first part will be 1.5 hours of presentation. Maybe in the end, we will be able to interact, and there will be some question and answer that we can make if we have the time. After that, we will have a 30-minute break. And depending on the time we have, we will do a workshop, just question and answer, and also maybe see together some websites and some social network accounts to see how this works. And after that, there will be a 1-hour presentation from Rachel Hill from the AOI. So enjoy. Yes, but first, let's just present you Rachel Hill. She's a membership director at the Association of Illustrators, and through the AOI, Rachel advises illustrators on self-promotion, portfolios, negotiation, and copywriting. Having previously worked as an illustration agent, Rachel is passionate about helping illustrators take the next step in their careers. So she will focus on alternative forms of digital self-promotion. And she will discuss with you how to broaden your online presence as an illustrator and explore various routes that the commissioner may come to arrive at your portfolio. Considering her experience in this field, you will learn a lot from her. So stay tuned after this first presentation for Rachel Hill. And now let's dive in this one. The objectives. So the objective of this presentation is to help you define your presence online and to give you advices to capture the attention of internet users. Internet allows you to reach many people at once, but people's attention span is limited and the amount of published content seems endless. So the question arises, how to capture the attention of internet users and how to make them perform the desired actions. So like buy your work or contact you. So there is rarely a single solution for everyone, and you each have a different means and needs. So in this presentation, not everything will certainly suit you. So you have to make choices from what is proposed in today's webinar. So let's go and let's begin with targets and objectives. Certainly, what we can miss is there is someone who wants to talk already. Maybe there is a problem. So how can I see that? Okay. I don't know how to see you, but I hope everything is fine. Okay, I will continue. So, well, target and objectives. It's important to know to who you address yourself and what are your objectives when you are online. So first, we are going to see what kind of objectives you can pursue online. And maybe you want to note down your own objectives and make a list of it on why you are online, why you are going online. And this will help you after to define how you want to be visible and what contents you want to show and how you want to show them. So let's see that, the different content that we can, the different objectives that you have. Obviously, maybe you want to sell your work if you have books to sell or artwork to sell. You may want to improve your brand awareness as an illustrator. You want to be known better. You may want to create a community around you. Be visible to the communication departments of enterprise if you work for businesses, for example. Or you may want to just sell your services, people may contact you on your website and ask for your services as an illustrator. And certainly increase your professional networks, maybe get in contact with publishers or increase your visibility in general. You can see that there are some primary objectives and secondary ones. The primary objectives might be for you selling your books, selling your artwork, getting an agent or getting a publishing contract, for example. But your presence online have to help you achieve your objectives. And secondary objectives might help you achieve the first objectives. Like building a community or develop your reputation will help you a lot to get a publishing contract, probably, or getting an agent, or selling your artwork or your books. So all these secondary objectives help to achieve the primary objectives. So it's very important to have them in mind. Well, note them down and keep them in mind for when we are going to talk about your websites and your Instagram account or social network accounts. So now that we have seen the objectives, we can rapidly see what kind of your targets. And your target is kind of your audience, in fact. So this is how I define it. It's the set of people to whom your content is addressed and with whom you wish to interact. Oops, excuse me. So, oops, your target, here it is. So let's see some examples of it. So you can have comic book readers, for sure, if you are selling comics. Journalists, because journalists will talk about your comic book or about your work, about your art. Publishing houses, if you want to get a publishing contract, for sure, but also influencers like blogger or Instagrammer. And if you work for businesses, you might want to get contact with communication agencies. Artist director in communication agencies might be a good target, and for sure the general public, as you want to be well known all over the planet. So here are how will you look like your objectives and targets if we put them together. It's just an example, and you have to create your own depending on what you want to do and where you are in your career, actually. So the objective, for example, is selling your books, and the target readers of your niche will be the target, like comic book readers. If you do children books, like children, teenagers, men, women, and surely publishers also, if you want to get a contract, if you don't have already a publisher contract. Increase your professional network, communications agency management, corporate communication management, publishers, agents are all targets for this precise objective. And increase your notoriety, media, bloggers, influencers, and the general public. So the objective of this little chart is for you to keep in mind to who you are talking to and why you are talking to them. And it's important to keep this in mind, to keep focus when you work online and we will see that it will have an incidence on your website and on the social media that you might choose and on the way you want to communicate online. It's fundamental to have a certain sense of your objective. So I hope that you have wrote down for yourself all of this, and it will help us in the second part, and that is now. So it will help us to make a nice and efficient website and to perform on social networks. So let's see the digital tools. The digital tools, and to see the digital tools, we have first to understand the internet user journey and see what we want the internet user to do exactly, and how he arrive on your website, how he arrive on your content. Then, because we have identified our objectives and understand what we want the internet users to do, we will see how to make a nice website and how to thrive on the social networks, and how to adapt your tools to your message and the strategy. So here is the internet user journey. I hope it will be clarified in a few moments. So here's what it could look like. What you want them to do and how to grow your network by implementing the right tools. First of all, the internet user will discover your website because they have heard of it, because somebody have shared it to them, because a blog maybe talked about it, or through a search engine, or through your social networks. Or she will find your social network through the hashtags, through the virality of your post, because somebody shared your work on social networks, on Instagram, or talked about it on a blog, or simply through your website. Let's say that the internet user that she arrives on your website. So here, you are here. The internet user is here. Then she arrives here on the website. First, what you want her to do is to discover your work and to understand what is your proposition, and surely she will, hopefully she will fall in love with your work. And if she does, then we want her to do 3 things, and we will have to help her to do these things. And the first thing is becoming loyal to your content. And loyalty, how is that? It's about subscribing to the newsletter or follow you on social networks. That's the first part. The second part is that we want her to recommend your work to others. We want her to talk about your work, to share it. And we also surely want her to buy your work or contact you if she's an agent or publisher or an artistic director. So that's what we want. And on the other side, on the side of the social network, it's kind of the same story. First of all, people have to be charmed by your content. So the one who like your style and the way you express ideas and feeling will enjoy it for sure. And then she will be the same loyalty by subscribing to your social network. But also she will recommend your content, and recommendation on the social media will go through share, like, and comments, and this will help for your content to be more visible and to attain virality. We will see after what is virality and how to attain it. And maybe also visit your website through your bio, and because you invite her to visit it. And also we want them or her to buy or contact you through your social networks. And we can see that if we have done our job well, we will use our social network to promote our website, and our website to promote our social networks. And this is the meaning of the arrow there. It's like when you're on the social network, you might find a website, and then you go on the website and you discover the work again, you recommend it, you buy a contact, and you subscribe to the newsletter. So all of this work together. And that's what we are going to see, how to make it work together. And we are going to first begin with your website, how to make or how to improve, because I believe that a lot of you already have a website. So we will see how to improve it. Okay, let's go for the ideal website. And as you read a bit of it, I will drink something. So, the ideal website should be attractive, inform, and transform. And if we go back an instant on the internet user journey, we understand that when the internet user discovers your work, we want her to be seduced by our work. And if she is, she will be more inclined to transform, to do what we want her to do. So we are going to break this down to see how you can make this work. All the examples for sure are only suggestions that you have to adapt to your personal style and the way you want to be visible online. So the most important is that you've got to be at ease with the way you present your work online. So keep the ideas that suits you the most and maybe dismiss the other for sure. And just have in mind your objectives and the internet user's journey and what you want the internet user to do on your website and on your web content in general. That's how your website is going to guide the visitors to what you want them to do. First of all, so your website must be attractive. So if there is love at first sight, this will be perfect. And there is already a little question. Hi, good platforms to build a site. So maybe we will answer to question at the end of the session, so that we can discuss all your questions. So keep your question for later, and we'll discuss it at this time. So your website must be attractive. So love at first sight, it means that you have to create an emotion with your work. And sure, your work will create an emotion. That's the aim of it. But also, your website can help your work to be more emotional, let's say. And here are an example. So this is the website of Laurence Benz, who is an illustrator. And let's see the website. So there is a loading page there. There is the loading page where you can connect with a style and the use also of a personalized pointer. It's very light things, but I think that it helps the visitor to immerse immediately in her style and in the visual proposition of Laurence Benz. It's also a bit surprising because it's not common on all websites. So it helps create an emotion in the visitor and an emotional link between the visitor and the website. And after that, the work of the illustrator have to do his work by itself. So so I think that can be kind of good ideas. Alors, Lucy, you tell me that there is a lot of background noise in your place. Isn't there a way you can isolate more, please? Closing door, tell people to be quiet. Yes, There is a kitchen just behind me, so sorry for that. I'm going to use headphones. I think that it might help. One sec. Mm-hmm. So is it better? Is it better or not? Can you make yes, thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. And sorry for the inconvenience. I hope this will be better now. Okay, so where were we? We were on Laurence Ben's website. So well, the main idea is to get your visitor immersed in your content. So you have to find some ID, some user experiences ID that we help to immerse the visitor and create this emotional link besides your work. Yes, Lucy, it will stop after lunch, hopefully. I can't do much about it right now, except changing place, but it will take too much time. Okay. Let's go. So another example is Paul David Escott from Pushkinism. And we are not going to see all of his website, but what is interesting about it is that he uses a video, a YouTube video, a GIF. And I find it interesting because you immediately get intimate with his work as you see him working. So it can be a good idea if you have something like that to show. And also, we have to keep in mind that people want to connect to other people. It's always a good idea to show yourself. Okay, so Dina, raise hands. Okay, permettre de parler. So, Dina, you want to say something? Is there a problem? Okay, so we will continue, and if there is no problem, we'll continue like that. Hopefully everything will work. So, yes, and people want to connect to other people. It's always a good idea to show yourself. And in this case, he's not showing him entirely, but you can see him at work. And it's really more intimate. And I think it creates an emotional connection that you want to provoke. So another one is Bianca Sunis. In this way, it's not her website, but her link tree. I suppose that you know what is the link tree. Basically, it's a directory page that permit to follow a number of links, including the website. You see that she is displaying little animations here and there. And she's using also personalized pointers that you see here. And also the copywriting, like Venmo tip jar, join my secret club for Patreon, and so on. And all of this makes us connect with her universe, with his world, and it creates an emotion. It's not only his work, her work, but it's also the way she displays it. That is very important in her case. So Bianca Action is also a good one. The next one, it's Mr. Bingo. So he's not an illustrator. He's doing some illustrator, but he's not doing only that. And he uses humors and kind of shocking contents. And what I like is that there is something that catches the visitor on almost every pages. On almost every page there is an idea that surprises the visitor. If we go on it, so his baseline is a bit is a bit surprising in itself. So Mr. Bigo is an artist, speaker, and what? Sure. And then you see on the speaking page there is a video where he displays his speaker talent. So I think it's interesting to have different kind of content. And the about section. In the about section, there is a catchy picture of him, and as I told you just before, people tend to react strongly with picture of people as we are hardwired to connect with others. So it helps to show faces. It helps to show you, to show yourself, and also the description in itself is very personal, and the copywriting help connect with him. He created connections through originality and humor, I think, and he presents his work philosophy very directly, and I think that we can all connect to it, like happiness, drawing things to help companies sell pointless things, so not much happiness, and drawing whatever you want on people buying it, a lot of happiness, and you see that it makes a bit laugh. It's surprising because it's bluntly honest, and I think that we can connect with him because of this. So this kind of ideas help surprise the visitor and connect with your content. So think of this kind of tricks for yourself. Also, even the contact page, in fact, got something special, as you can see. Yes, contact, but not with an old phone, I suppose. And it really catch your attention. It's very strong, I think. So he uses different format to express himself. He uses videos, GIF, and images to make the content on his website appealing. And I think that overall it helped us connect with him and his work. So next. So your website must seduce for sure, but it must also inform the visitor. So who your targets for sure. Everybody can go on your website, but you are just interested in your targets. So the readers of your books, the agent that you want to work for, people like that. And you have to say, you don't want the visitors to have to guess. It may seem clear to you, but make it crystal clear for them. Just a word and everything will be intelligible. What services or product do you offer? Advertising, press, books, comics? You can make it clear and visible through your menu and say it again in your bio, or even explain it through your baseline. In this way, your targeted audience will immediately find the right content and understand that you can answer to her desires. If you have well-known references, show them and also say it again in your bio. It will help create confidence and respect in the visitor's minds. And visitors will be much more inclined to contact you or to look at your work in a more favorable way if you present all of this clearly. So here are some examples. Here is a bomb or whale. Yell. And what is clear is that she's just saying this is design and illustration. That's what I'm doing, and you don't have to guess if you don't know her work. And also it's repeated in the menu because she's saying illustration, design. So you know where you're going and you know what kind of work you're going to see. Also, and there is a big immersive picture that catches us into the Illustrator universe. So that's also good practice that you can implement for sure. So the idea here is don't make them guess, inform them directly. And also there is another thing that you can do is kind of to flex that, show your work, and if I need the big names you have worked for, so that it will create confidence with the visitor. We can see it on Bianca Xunis, that she has worked with a name that everybody knows, and it helps to understand. So, and the next one is that your website must transform. So transform the visitor and turn him into one of your primary or secondary objectives. So the one that we have noted down before. And what we want them to do generally is get the email address. So subscribe to your newsletter, but also follow to your social network. But maybe don't just put the logo, make it visible, but an invitation to do it, to follow you on Instagram or the social network. And also maybe you want to sell them something, and there you have to get a shop on your website, and a lot of artists are doing this, and it works very well. And then you can also connect this shop with Instagram, as we will see later. So here are some examples. So okay, here are some examples. So here is David Shrigley website, and what is interesting about it is that he invites you to his Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram account with big logo and personalized logo, and you see that there is a shop where you can buy things, and so he has thought about how to transform the visitor into subscribers or followers on his social medias, and also buyers, and also contact if you want to work with him. So you have to implement these things and make them clear and visible, like that, and in your own style for sure. Also, this is a website that you see that you can subscribe to the newsletter. I think it's very interesting how it works, because it's one of the only sites that I have visited that put it there, so well visible. So it's nice. We will see after why it's nice to have a newsletter and how it helps. Also, she invites us to follow her on Instagram. And the difference is that there is not just a logo, but it's right in the content, and you can see that she directly invites us to follow us on Instagram, and not only presenting the different logo, which is nice. But if you invite people and make it clear that you want them to follow you, it's stronger. So here Veso subscriber, and Pascal Campiona, also another shop we have seen before. So it's another website with a shop. There were a question about which platform to use. Not every platform will allow you to put a shop, so choose it carefully. For that you can implement it easily. So let's see some examples that that kind of do it all, or do it most of it. And I think that they're doing quite well, and we'll also see what they can improve maybe on the website, and that might give us idea for your websites to improve. So Manon de Bay. So first of all, there is a big picture to immerse yourself in her work. Maybe the slideshow is a bit too fast, but we are directly being appealed to her work, and also we can clearly see the objectives of the website are being put forward. Like there is the contact here and here, here and there, and also there, like info. Maybe you would put Instagram in bold instead of info. I don't know. It could be a possibility if you want more follower on your Instagram account. So also she's making it clear, because we can see in the menu what she's doing. So illustration, press, and BD, which means a comic book, in the menu. So immediately you know what kind of proposal she's making to us. So maybe what's missing here is that there is no newsletter. We'll see after that. It can be a very good way to be more popular on the internet and to keep contact with your fan base. And also in the comic section here, if I go there, I can see her work, but I cannot buy it, or it's not. I cannot buy it, so it's kind of frustrating, because if I want to buy something about Manon de Bay, I may have search on her name on the web, and arrived on her website, and then I cannot buy it. I'm not linked to a seller for work, or just in the same way she could maybe sell her illustrations work. After all, if people are seduced by her work, why not buy an illustration for a friend's birthday, for example? Your visitor is seduced, so the follow-up for the person who likes your work is to get a piece of it. Don't make it complicated to your visitor. Just show them the way, and and well, if you don't do it, someone else will sell his work. Also, well, so that was for Manon de Bail, and the next one is, we have already seen it, but I want to come back to it, is VO agent. So it's not an illustrator, but it's an agent. But what I think is interesting is that there is a little animation on the left that catches our look and invite us to discover the artist's work. And in the menu, we also see illustration, 3D, animation, typo, set designs, themes. So you can see the different kind of works that are proposed, and it's very clear where you are on the target audience. The targeted audience will see what to do. So contact them if they want to work with the agency. And also the newsletter is put in front, and I like, as I told you before, how they put in the Instagram, which really stands out. So the objectives of the website stands out, and everything is clear. The objectives are clear. We know what there is to offer. We are invited to discover all of the content. We can contact the agency to work with them, and we are invited to follow the agency on social networks or to subscribe to the newsletters. Well, everything is in this website, and I think it's a good example of what to do. Another one that I liked is Malika Fabra. I think that here is the loading page, which immerses us in and kind of surprises. Also, we are directly immersed in her work, in her world with this presentation. And there is a GIF here that immediately attracts the eye, just there, with a cat jumping up, just there, yeah. And when you hover an image, there is the flex part, as you see. You can see for who she's working for. And also there are clear objectives. You are invited to buy her work through the shop, follow her on Instagram, and you can contact her through the About page. And from there, we can see that she got two objectives with her website: is work inquiries and shop inquiries, and that's how she's making money. So it's also what is interesting is that on her Instagram, we cannot see it here, but yes, we can see it here. There is a shop link, so we can see that she has her goal is to sell her work from her shop. And we can see that she has thought about the internet user journey from the website to Instagram, from Instagram to the website, with two objectives in mind: so sell and get some work. That's the two ways she makes makes a living from her art. So again, the question is, what are your objectives? How are you going to achieve them with the help of your website? How are you going to display them on your website? So the website takeaway, I think we have covered it, at least partly. First of all, you have to define the objectives of your website. So to sell your work, to generate business contacts, to help generate a strong community online. These are generally your objective. And then how to achieve them, how to achieve these objectives, you have to seduce and inform. So display your work in an attractive way, use video, GIF to immerse the visitor, and show your references. And for sure, display your objectives. So it's important to show your objectives and to make them clear and to make people be able to click on them and not have to guess where to find, where to shop for your last book, or how to contact you for business inquiries. And surely invite people to follow you on Instagram. A lot of time I only see the Instagram logo placed in a discreet way. You can also say just, well, follow me, just follow me and see more of my work there. And invite people to subscribe to your newsletter, to a newsletter that you might want to create. I hope that I will convince you just in a few moments about implementing the newsletter. So, so now that we have a beautiful website, a website that transforms people into whatever we want them to do, we want it to be as much visible as possible. And we want content to be visible online. And this is a difficult part. So before we go there, we just make 2-minute pauses, and I'll be back in a sec. I'm coming back, just just a few minutes. So the 30 minutes pauses will happen in about 30 minutes. And after we will, depending on where we will be in this presentation, we maybe will be able to answer questions. And after that, Rachel Hill will do her amazing presentation. But before that, if everything is okay and there, we are going to continue the presentation, and then we wanted to know how to be visible online. Now we have a beautiful website. So the question now is how to be seen. How can we make your website visible to the world, and especially to the part of it that will love and buy our work? And we have a big problem, and this problem is a problem of attention. More than 90% of the data on the internet has been created since 2016, so it's like enormous. And there is an enormous amount of content online. And Instagram users upload over 100 million photos and videos every day. So you are competing for the attention of web users with a tremendous amount of content. So the question is how to capture the attention and how to keep it. So your goal is not to please everybody, but it's to generate true fans. And true fans are the most engaged of your followers. They are avid followers, eager to see, like, comment, share your contents, and even buy it. It will help you grow your revenue, as they will buy your content for themselves, but also as gifts. Well, when I fall in love with an author or a book, I tend to offer it multiple times. In this way, I am acting for a certain period of time, at least as a true fan with this author. And the true fans also help you grow a same community, and they will bring new followers with them. So it's very important to have them in mind. They help your content to be discovered because they like it, they share it a lot. So how to generate visibility? And there are there's close to an infinite way to generate visibility online. Press relation, you can use social networks, emailing, search engines, partnerships, guest blogging, and so on. So we will concentrate just after this little presentation on social network. But first, let's have a quick look on SEO and emailing. So search engine optimization, I don't know if you're familiar with it, SEO. It is about making your website visible on search engines based on user queries. So we will not address this question in details, but you should at least be visible on Google on your name. So check this first. Go on Google. Maybe you have done it before, but on Google, and be sure that you are first when you're typing your name in Google. If you're not on the top result on your name, or at least on the first page, you have a visibility problem. Because imagine you communicate about yourself, or somebody talk about you to a friend or business contact, then the person go online and to find and discover your work, and well, then find you at all. So it's a big problem. In some cases, you may have a famous namesake. This can be very difficult to correct. Especially if your namesake is more famous than you, it will be kind of difficult to be more famous than him, or it will take a lot of time, I suppose. It might be difficult, but in such case, you can change your name or go for a nickname, but it's not always possible. So at least you should try to be on the first page so that you are visible, because people rarely go on the second pages of Google search queries. So be aware of that. And it most case, but and if you can't or don't want to do it, you can try to implement techniques, SEO special techniques, but it takes time and it is never guaranteed. So it can be a pain in this case. But if you don't have strong competition on your own name, and then you're not visible, there might be a problem with your website. So you have to check this with a specialist, maybe your webmaster, and generally it can be fixed rapidly. So check this and fix it if needed, and generally it will be kind of easy. The second thing that I have talked about a lot already is the newsletter. I think that newsletter is very interesting and certainly underused. As we have seen when we were talking about the website, you can generate subscribers to a newsletter. It's an objective that you should consider. Why is that? It helps to keep in touch with your audience, with your fans, and with your clients. You will be able to present your latest work in a privileged way, directly in people's inbox. Because it's not like on the Instagram feed. In your newsletter, people only see your contents. So that's kind of very interesting to have subscribers to your newsletter. And from your newsletter, you can redirect people to your website, to your social networks, present your latest comic books, sell your artwork, and so on. And how to do it? So there are many tools that you can use. The most well-known is Mailchimp, and it's free and a certain amount of subscribers, so you can try it. It's a really good one, and you can link Mailchimp to your website. So when somebody enter your address in your newsletter, then he will automatically subscribe, and Mailchimp will do the rest of it. So on the content, the content that you can display in your newsletter is that you can talk about your news, show your work. Alors, can you write it down? Sure. So it's about Mailchimp, I suppose. So let's go on Mailchimp. So here is Mailchimp. It's a good tool. Free. Try it. You will love it. And it's kind of easy to implement, depending on your level, for sure, but kind of easy. So that's it for the newsletter. So now let's see the big chunk, the star of all, the social networks, and especially Instagram. So it's a privileged tool to develop a close brand relationship with your target audience, get contacts, and bring visitors to your website. So also Giulia Sagramola recommend us Substack.com. I'm sure that it's an excellent tool also. I don't know it, but there are many tools out there that are very good. So thank you. Thank you very much, Julia. Okay, you can start a free or paid newsletter with this service. Okay, that's interesting. Thank you very much. And also a podcast. Okay, you can do it all. So nice tool. So thank you, Julia. Okay, so the social network. Where are we? I am lost. Social networks. Here we are. So there are a lot of them. There are a lot of social networks, and I'm sure that most of you are on Instagram. But well, we have to ask ourselves on which social network should you be, because it depends on your targets for sure. The demography is not all the same between the social networks, so you should think of it. And after that, we have to ask ourselves, how do the social networks work, and especially the algorithms. That's how you can get visible on them. And we will focus on Instagram to see how to work on this platform. So first of all, choose your social network and choose your social networks, plural, if you want, but it can be a lot of work. So just don't work on too much of them. There is Facebook, the generalist, the contemporary equivalent of the yellow pages, if I can say. And on this one, you should at least have some sort of presence in it, just to be visible on the biggest social network of all, because it's the biggest social network of all. You cannot avoid it. Even if you don't post anything, even if you don't intend to do anything on it, be on it. People might look for you there. Let them find you. And if you don't want to use it, redirect them to your favorite social network on your website, and that's all. And if you want to be more active also, because there is your community there, then develop it. It's a very good social network, like the others. Instagram, it's certainly the ideal network for sharing images, and certainly so for you, it's the ideal one. There is also, as we will see, a shop option, so to sell things. And I believe that if not all, most of you are using it on a daily basis, probably. Instagram, try it. There is also Twitter. Twitter is ideal for news. So if you're focused on news story, this is a place to go, for sure. And also, just like for Facebook, maybe you want to just to have an account open there and redirect people to your website or Instagram account. And also there is LinkedIn. Maybe it's not a social network that you think of as an illustrator, but because here contents are around entrepreneurship, management, and recruitment. But nevertheless, it can be an opportunity to reach a different target of decision makers and professionals in order to get out of maybe the little entre-soi of Instagram. It really depends on your target. If you want to work for companies, this could be a place to go. And as it's less used by illustrators, your content will surely stand out. And it's Instagram, you're a bit lost in the crowd. It will not be the case there, but you have to see if it fits your strategy and your targets, as we have seen before. So to understand how to perform, you have to understand to understand how to perform on social networks. You have to understand the goals and how the social networks work. So let's see that now. So the goal of social networks. The goal of social network is to maximize the engagement of its audience in order to expose them to advertising contents. So social networks want contents that generates maximum quality engagement by real human beings. That's how social networks will judge your content, because that's how they make a living. And to do so, to judge your content and decide how to display it, they use algorithms. And I'm sure that you've heard a lot about it. And social networks algorithms are computer programs that analyze the behavior of internet users and decide what content is best suited to each user. So they select the right content to place in front of the right user to maximize the presence of users on their platforms. That's how it works. And that's what you have to keep in mind. So how it works. The algorithm detects behavior patterns to identify the preference of its users. And it will search for each user the content that will make her react the most and keep her on that network. So what you want is to reach the largest audience possible with your contents. And there are two kinds of reach. Paid reach and organic reach. So paid reach is the unique number of people who saw your content as a result of an ad. And we are not going to see this part in detail because what we are trying to do here is to improve your organic reach. And organic reach is the number of people who have seen your content through unpaid distribution. So it's the opposite of page reach. And it can be break down in two parts, the non-viral reach and the viral reach. And we have talked about virality before, and we are going to see what it means exactly. So the organic reach, we saw, the non-viral reach, so it is a unique number of people following you who have seen your contents on their newsfeed. And the viral reach is the unique number of people who have seen your contents, even though they don't follow you. And they will see it because there is a lot of people, of your followers that have interacted with your content. So to increase your reach and make your content viral, you have to increase your engagement rate. And this is another word, another concept that we have to understand to fully understand how this works. So the engagement rate, it is the sum of the likes and comments that you receive per post, divided by the number of followers that you have. So the higher it is, the better it is for you, for your post, because it will be much more visible. So this engagement rate is the way the algorithm will make your content be seen or not, depending on the level of this engagement rate. It's the most important things of all on social media. And so how it works. On Instagram, for each post you publish, the algorithm will show it to a small proportion of your page's audience, let's say 10% of your audience. And then, depending on the engagement generated by the post and this proportion of your audience, this 10%, it will show it to 10% more and 10% more, and maybe make it viral. Because for the social network point of view, it's a content that helps sales ads. That's all. That is all it's looking for. So in a way, don't forget it. You're working for Instagram. Because if you are playing the game of Instagram, in fact, you're just helping him publishing more ads. But that's how it works. So now that we know how the social networks work, we have to see how to communicate on social media and the key questions that we have to ask ourselves when we want to be present on these platforms. So, as we have seen before, it's why are you on social media? This is directly linked to your objectives defined earlier. To get business contacts, to sell online, to have large community so that you can convince a publisher to publish you, and so on. So don't forget to do it consciously with your objectives in mind. If you don't do it, you can lose yourself in social networks. You can lose a lot of time and energy as a social network have been created to consume your time. So be careful with it and do it with purpose in mind and your objectives in mind. Why will people want to follow you on social media?
La participante Lucia qui évidemment.
Ah.
Lucia Balda. Lucia Balda.
Ouais. Ok. So. Non, mais j'avais vu, je crois déjà. Excuse me one minute. So Lucia Baldrati, you have a raised hand. Is there a problem maybe? Okay. No, she's not there anymore. Okay. So let's go back to this really important questions. So why would people want to follow you on social media? So this is linked to your personality and the value you will give them. Are they fans of your content, business contacts? And this is directly linked to the value you provide on social media. And this is maybe one of the most important questions because it will establish why people follow you and interact with you on social media, and it will determine how much engagement you will have on your posts, and so how much visibility you will have on your posts. And it's directly linked to your content, and it might be because you tell stories and people like to hear stories a lot, and you show them beautiful pictures and people like beautiful things, or you're teaching them something, or you're giving them inspirations or other knowledge, and this will be linked to your content format that we have to be to think about. So these are the questions that you have to keep in mind to be efficient in your work on social media, not lose yourself, and deliver the right content to your audience. Also, I want to talk a bit about being consistent, which is the most important thing that you have to do to thrive on social media. Being consistent means regularity, which is publishing regularly, but if you cannot do it every day, don't do it every day, and don't try to do it every day, because it won't work if you know that you can't. Don't force it. But still try to be regular, maybe at least once a week or 2 or 3 times a week. You have to know that the most successful accounts are the ones who publish the most, in fact, and the most of quality content. And it can take a lot of time, but that's how it works. That's how Instagram reward his users. So respect your editorial policy, and voilà, don't repost pics of your cousin or content that is not linked to your project or to your universe, to not lose your followers. And publish for your audience. That means we have seen it before. It means whenever you publish, you must ask yourself, what kind of value do I give to my audience? This is an important one that we have seen. And also publish to achieve a goal. And it's really linked of what we have said before. You want to sell, to make your community grow and so on, and you don't want to lose yourself on social media and count the like and say, did I have enough like or not? It's important, but you must be conscious and don't lose yourself on this, because it's very easy to. So here are some advice on the account, but also on the posts that you can make that I want to give you in this last part. So the account, consider using a picture. It might help create a connection between you and your audience. As we have seen, people react to other people, so it can help. But describe yourself in the bio. It's very straightforward. You can just explain what you're doing, and put a link in your bio. You only have the right to put one link, and that's all. So you can put a link to your shop, to your website, or if you got a lot of content to show, to a link tree that will redirect people to all of your content. And I have shown you before a link tree, I think. And here is another one with Mr. Bingstagram or Mr. Bingo, where he displayed all the link that is interesting, that you can subscribe to his newsletter. You can go to his website, you can contact him. And there is a lot of this work there, the Advent calendar, Black Lives Matter, because he supports this movement and things like that. So I think it's a possibility to keep in mind if you want to, if you have a lot of content to display. Yeah, and Guy is telling us that he personally don't have a link tree, and that he made a page with links on his own website, and surely it perfectly works. It's a very good solution, and you can do that too. And maybe it's even better because you will keep people on your website and in your on your website. I think it's important. So good call, Guy. So now the pro account. I encourage you to get a pro account. Even if you don't intend to use it now, go for it. It's free. Anyone can create a pro account. It's completely free. You don't have to be a pro, in fact, just a name. But it will begin to compile information about your audience and your post. And you will know which post is working the best, and then it will help you to know how to make better posts, maybe. And if at a certain point you want to make ads, you want to have this kind of information, and you need a pro account to display ads. So the day you need it, it will be there, and you will have all the data compiled and available to work with. So I advise you, if you have not a pro account right now, to create it right away. The Instagram shop. So it's consider also creating an Instagram shop if you have something to sell, obviously. But you should have maybe something to sell, because people are on your account. So why should they go somewhere else to buy the thing that you produce? You have to help them get your content as easily as possible, and it reduces friction to do so. So a lot of artists are doing it, are using it. I cannot show it to you on desktop, because it's the Instagram shop only appears on your mobile device. So you can go to Nathalie Koromoto to see a shop. I'm sure that you have seen some before. And also, what is interesting is that it appears in the shopping tab that you can see on the web app of Instagram. So it's a good way to sell your stuff and to be more visible. Your post. So your post should respect your editorial policy. And so as we have seen before, we only post something that have something to do with your work. You should advise a content type like GIF, video, images, educational, fun, because Instagram reward this kind of variety. And you should engage in conversation. So if somebody reacts to your post, you should react back, at least like the comment. It will help people, it will encourage people to react more to your post and to engage more in your conversation. And that's how your posts will get viral. Also to encourage people to engage with your post, you can use a descriptive text, and it's not used a lot, but it depends on people at least. But it really helps if it is well written, people to interact with your content, and use the right hashtag. So about the hashtag, I advise you to use around, well, let's say not more than 10 hashtags, because if you do more, it begins to look like nothing, I think. And use the right hashtag. You have to choose hashtags that are search, but not too much, like illustrators alone. It's so big that you will not be seen with this hashtag. So be specific, but large enough. Let's say it depends also on the size of your own accounts. But let's say that a few thousand followers, or few tens of thousands of followers, to hundreds of followers for the biggest hashtags that you would choose. Let's see the different type of contents that you can display. And in fact, I see that we are at the end of the 1 hour and a half. And so before entering in this part, we are going to stop here for half an hour. And after that, we will finish this part, and then do some question and answer with the chat, and then Rachel Hill will connect, and for the last part of the webinar. So here is the pause for 30 minutes. Everything is good. Everything is all right. See you in 30 minutes at 3 p.m. See you, everybody. Don't disconnect or connect back. We are back for the last part of this webinar. As I haven't finished my presentation, we will finish this, and then if we have time, I hope so, take a few questions. And after that, it will be the amazing Rachel Hill who will do her own presentation. So I don't know if she has connected yet. Yet she's there. She's there. Okay. So hello, Rachel.
Hello, lovely to be here.
Nice to hear you. So if you have well heard, I will just finish my presentation, maybe take a few questions, and then give you the lead of the webinar.
That sounds fantastic.
Okay, perfect. So let's go. I'm going to share the screen, and we are going to finish the presentation. So maybe some people have joined a little late. I think that it is the case. And so at the beginning of the intervention of the webinar, we have seen how to do a nice website, and hopefully this will help to improve your website, or help to create one that suits you on your objectives. And now we are trying to do an overview of how to be present on social network, and especially right now on Instagram. And we are talking about the kind of posts that's the kind of content that you can do. And here we are. So let's go. So everybody, the different types of content, these are the different type of content that drive the most engagement according to the survey of mobilemonkey.com. We can see that it's very general. There is conversation, questions, polls, if you ask questions, if you do polls, entertainment, comics, contest, memes, jokes. That's all kind of things that you can use. So just there is Laetitia who is asking, hello, unfortunately I joined later. Will there be a registration to see for people who missed the first part of the webinar? So the first part of the webinar has been recorded, and this part is not going to be recorded on display for everybody, but you will be able to see the first part, I think. It's, you will probably receive an email with a link for you to see the content. So let's continue. These are very general content that you can use as inspiration to reflect on what kind of content you can produce in Instagram. So inspiration, facts, quotes, personal stories, storytelling. This work a lot because, as I have said numerous times previously, people like to connect with real people, so it's important for them. This kind of content can be very good and generate a lot of engagement. Promotion, for sure, you want to promote your product, your services from time to time, not all the time, but from time to time. It's a good idea to do so, because after all, your objectives are, as we have seen, maybe at least for you, to sell your to sell your books, to sell your work or art, or to get jobs through Instagram. So education also. People want to be educated from time to time. Informative tips and tricks, case study, video training can work also a lot. For illustrators, we can be a bit more specific. So obviously your work, your last book, the last sheet you drew, the last illustration you were ordered to, you can show the illustration itself or the printed medium, the books, the magazine. The people you work for, it's a way to show your references and to flex, as we have seen before. You at work through images, GIFs or videos, and it's a way to show the creative process and humanize the relationship between you and your audience. And it generates generally a lot of engagement. It's very nice to do. A reaction to the news, if it goes with what you want to display on your social media, on your social networks, then it might be a good idea from time to time to use the news, because people will tend to interact a bit more with the post because it's in the news. Also you can a reinterpretation of a pop culture object that affects you, like the latest series that you liked, for example, to capitalize on the link between the audience and the pop culture object in question, like Batman or the Joker. If it's your kind of work, for it has to be consistent with what you are doing, for sure. These are just ideas. You should inspire you from what others do in your field, and others also find original ideas that you can copy. So it's always good to follow some people in your field and in other fields. So to see what kind of format they use, how often they post, what kind of content they post. This will help you This will educate you and make you understand what people are looking for and how you can do it for yourself on your social networks account. So here are some examples from accounts that got a lot of followers. Tell a story, always work. People engage a lot with story, obviously. You can see that it's Pascal Campionard, his love story. He does this a lot. This guy is publishing, I think, one post a day. So it's really a lot of work for him, I suppose too. But it's part of how he has been successful on Instagram for sure. Also, I want to remind you that you can use a picture of you because people connect with other people, as I have already said. It's interesting to see this kind of account with a lot of followers. This can give you some ideas, I believe. So if you tell stories, this will create an engagement. But it can be surely a lot of work. Let's see now. You can show your work also. This is less work because you have already done it. You have just to display it on your Instagram account. So you have created an image for a client or for your next comic book. It's a content that you can directly use on your Instagram account. And here is an example for Malika Fabra. She's publishing also a lot. And this is here, I think. Yes, so minimal exploration from my Louis Paris collab from a few months back. So she shows her work and her exploration of work. I think it's interesting because it also shows how she works, and people like to understand and to connect with this kind of content. And it's easy to produce, so do it. Also at work, so it's not your work, but it's you working. You show yourself working for somebody who don't know how to draw. There is a natural curiosity to discover your process. And also, as you can see here, you can always use a cat because it's a guarantee for success on the internet. So don't hesitate to use cats. So at work, it's kind of funny. It creates intimacy again, and it helps to create an emotional connection between your audience and you. So also, what you can do is teach something. Here is 4 drawing lessons from Alfred Zirkus. And what is, if I find it again, no, where it is. Oh, that is strange. Where are the 4 drawing lessons? Well, it's is it that? No, it's not it. Here it is. So what's interesting is that this post has done virality. This post has many likes, so almost 16,000 likes than that the account has followers. So this is just a few tricks about how he works, and surely it helps. It helps him grow his account when he can get this kind of virality. So all of these are ideas that you can use for yourself, and find other ideas. These are just few propositions, but you have to do it for yourself and to follow to follow different accounts to understand what works, what doesn't work, and why it works, and be conscious about it. And then it will help you to create better posts and to be more successful on Instagram. So next is that you have no, it's here. Okay, yes, you have to use a different type of format. So there is stories. There's not only posts, as you know. There is stories. There is reels. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but it's what is supposed to be like TikTok and Instagram. There are also IGTV contents, which are short videos that you can post, or live content, which are live video, and Instagram highlight the content, the different type of content that you use, and it will reward you for using a large variety of content formats. It can be a lot of work to create a large variety of content formats, but still, these are the rule of the game. So you have to know how far you want to follow them or not. But for instance, stories, as you know, are displayed on the top of the newsfeed. So it's a way to be seen. It's another way to be seen than the feed, than the newsfeed. And there's a live video. It can be you working, or an interview of you made by somebody else, or you interviewing an artist you like. It's something else for sure, but the advantage is that your profile will be shown to your follower when you're live, and it can be a good way to reconnect with your community, or just to make more engagement with your account. And also live create again some sort of intimacy with you, an emotional link between you and your audience, and that's the kind of thing that you want to create. Well, to have a nice community. So here are for the stories and reels, and now for sure all this kind of posts, virality, as we have seen, the use of the different type of format on Instagram will get you more followers, but there are some rules to follow to get more followers. Other rules. And the first one is be more social. So interact with people that interact with you in the first place. If somebody comments your post, you may respond or like at least the comment, especially if you have a small account, just to generate a more strong link with your audience, and to encourage people to comment and to engage your content. And we know that more your community engage your content, the more your post will become viral, and the more they will be seen, and the more you will have success on Instagram. So be more social. You also can be more social with other accounts, but it costs kind of energy to comment on other accounts, and especially if you're only doing it if you're only doing it to have more visibility, maybe it will cost too much effort for you, and it's an habit that won't last, and maybe it will sound not very natural when you were doing this, and maybe it will not be worth it. So be natural when you comment on posts where you really, when you are really, where you are really engaged, and just do it, and it will help you your account and the overall visibility of your Instagram account. So use the right hashtags. As I told you before, I believe that some people say 20, 30 hashtags. I say 10 hashtags tops, because it's kind of too much. I think it kind of well, your post will not be as good looking as it will be if you keep your hashtags low. Choose the right one, and the right one are the ones that are not too big for your account. So it depends a bit on how big is your account, but few tens of thousands of people on the hashtags is where your content will be able to be visible. And it's important to use it because part of the virality process, Instagram will show your content depending on your hashtags to new people that don't follow you. So it's really important to use it, but choose them well. Also, you can interact with publications in your favorites hashtags. But as I have said earlier before, do it the more naturally possible. And if it's a pain for you, just maybe don't do it, because it will cost you too much energy and don't worth it much. Because the most important thing is to be regular. In the action you're doing. It is the key. So to post a lot of high quality content is the way to succeed on Instagram. That's all, for real. And but you have to be regular, and that means that prefer to post once a week than 10 times the first week and no more for 3 weeks, and 10 times again for 3 days, and that sort of things. Be regular, and people will like to connect with you from time to time, and you will get on their mind on a regular basis. That's how it works. That's how ID enter our mind, by being exposed to them regularly. So to do it. So let's see one account that is publishing a lot of things, I think almost every day, and yes, it's almost everyday content with a lot of things, and he's selling things. He's also doing video on these little memes with his birds, and yeah, it kind of works because he got 6.2 million followers, and he's doing a lot of merch. I think that he don't have any website, just merch, just merch, and that's all. And it's interesting to see how it works. So how to post consistently and how to be regular? It's I think the big question, and we are going to see how we can do that. Maybe give you some tips, some advice to succeed in this matter. So as I have said before, it don't have to be painful. So you should find formats that suit you. Maybe begin small, begin with something you're really comfortable, and try some other things from time to time. and if you have a lot of energy for Instagram and a lot of appetite for it, just go for it. It will be nice for you, but well, respect yourself, and and it can be hard emotionally when you are putting a lot of effort and you don't have any likes, and then you just say, well, I give up. And so be cool with yourself. Don't make it painful. Make it work from petit à petit, as we said in French. So I think to be too much engaged emotionally into Instagram can be really difficult, and to avoid this, I will advise to make it a part of your work, not see it as your identity being put there, even if it's your work and if you love it. I know you are emotionally connected to your work, so it's natural to have these kind of reactions. But still, you prepare these things in advance. Allow you a certain time to work each week on Instagram, but no more. And you schedule in advance. Don't look at it too much, and you publish and you start over, and also you can repost the content that have worked the best from time to time. It's also a good advice to be posting consistently. But yeah, that will be a few advice. And just one part to post consistently. One other thing is to generate a sufficient amount of ideas. Because if you want to post each week or a few times a week, you have to generate a certain amount of ideas for posts. And so to do that, just watch what others are doing, think about it, write down all your ideas in a notepad or an Excel file, and when time comes, you have set up like every Monday, you say that you work for 3 hours on creating Instagram posts, or 2 hours, or the time you want, and then you create your post, you make a schedule. You don't work more than you have defined. You just pick an idea from the stack of ideas that you have gathered, and prepare your work for the coming week in advance, schedule the publication in advance, look for new ideas, and go on. And that's it. You have to publish and publish again, and start over and publish again. So keys to success is regularity, to be regular. That's how you will stand out. Most people give up, but not you. Be consistent, stick to your editorial line. Sure, you have the right to everything, and especially to freshness, but don't start reposting your little cousin's post at the beach or things like that. Be consistent with your proposition. And patience. So it's okay to not have like at the beginning. It takes time to generate a community and a bit of work. So if you know why you are doing it and you follow strategy and find fun in it, then you will eventually succeed. So it don't have to be a pain. It have to be pleasure. You have to be patient. You have to be consistent. You have to be regular, and you have to monitor the web. So to see what kind of content are working, because it's changing all the time. There is new formats created by Instagram, like every year or every month even. So be aware of that, and be aware of the new platform that can arrive. Maybe if you have a younger audience, you want to be on TikTok or Snapchat or whatever. So these are the keys to success, and I think that we have done it because we are at the end of this presentation. So thank you very much for listening. I hope this has been helpful for all of you, at least in some sort, in some ways. to create your websites and to thrive on the internet. And before we advance a bit further, I want to thank you and thank you to Lisa Hollander. Maybe you can show yourself if you want. Yeah. Who had organized this workshop on coordinating Visual Lines Festival, and it's just there. And so thank you very much to her. And now, before we finish my part and that I give the lead to Rachel Hill, maybe you have some few questions, 5 to 10 minute questions on this presentation. So I see Julia Sagramola. I often doubt about what language to use for promotion online. My website is in English, but who follow me is half people from my country and half international people. What do you think about bilingual website? I see in France often the websites are French only. Yes, I think if you have half of your audience that is international, you should go for a bilingual website for sure. Well, I don't know on which platform you use if you are on the WordPress, but WordPress is a very good one. Because you can do almost everything you want on it, and especially you can multilingual websites out of WordPress websites. So Julia, I will recommend you to do a bilingual one. Okay. Alors. Hi, I am very wondering about the good keywords on IG, on Instagram. So I believe this is the question about the hashtags. And well, the good keyword it's not easy to know. You have to try. In fact, you have to be logical about what about your content and the hashtags that will help that connect with your content. You can also check out what are other artists like you, other illustrators like you, using as a hashtag. So try them and see what works the best for you, and you will see what works the best for you if it go viral or not. So try to use hashtags that are linked to your topics and that have not too much like 10,000 of posts. Like if I go on it, let's see. If I do that, illustration, you see, it's close to 200 billion publications. So it's really too much. You can see that illustration artist is a bit less, but it's also enormous. So you have to think about more confidential hashtags where you can be visible, because when there is 200 million people posting with this hashtag, well, your content will never be seen, almost never be seen. So it has almost no use, or you can just say, I do it because I may, but don't count too much on it. So the question is what kind of illustration you do, and maybe you can choose a specialty in your illustration style where there is a hashtag with sufficient publication so that people will see it, but not too much. I hope that it's clear, even if it's not very precise. So we have also Lucy, who says, I have heard a lot about the right day and how to post in the week for more visibility. For example, on Thursdays, it seems to be good. Do you have advices about this? So it's a question that comes a lot. When to publish, what is the good time? What we have to understand is that there's two things that we have to understand is that if there is a good time to publish, then at a certain moment, everybody will know when it's the good time to publish, and you will be lost in all the publication. But also, this is not exactly always true, because when people are on Instagram, there is this infinite scroll, and even if you are following a lot of accounts, you will finish by see all the publication of everybody, because people like do that all the time, and finally see your content. By experience, I think it's not. You have to be logical. Like if you're in a certain country and if you are looking to connect with the audience of your country, during the hour of people will be where people will be connected. But on try things, but don't focus too much about it. If you're focused on your content, and try a few things, maybe at 11, maybe at 12:30 for the lunch break, or at 5 o'clock on Friday, because maybe people get out of the work a little bit earlier on Friday. That's kind of logical things, and but well, focus on your content. Maybe somebody else have a question? You're welcome, Lucy. Alors, am I seeing everything? I'm not sure. Yes, so I don't think there is much more question. So a less used hashtag would be better than a larger used one. Okay, so Caroline, yes, yes, a less used hashtag would be better. It depends on the size also of your account. If you have a big account, you can aim for bigger hashtags. But unless that, especially if you're beginning, try for small account, because that is where you will create a nice community that is really connected with your topics, with your style, and that's at the beginning how you will create the same community that will engage your content. And Instagram and the algorithm will say this is a real account with nice content, and this community is engaging a lot with this content, so I want it to grow. So aim for that. I hope that you have kind of get the logic around it. Alors, Julia Sagramola, ideas about the newsletter setup, like content and what to share, how often. About the newsletter setup, you should what kind of content, as we have discussed, like maybe your book, your work, when you have done a new work, when you have a new book, when you have something upcoming. Once a month, I think is enough. You really have to have something to say, because you want your audience to like the newsletter and to continue to want to be filled by this newsletter. And I think that that's kind of what I would do myself. Caroline, I have 2K followers, but not very engaged. So you must first work on your engagement. This is the most important things, because Instagram want people to get engaged. If you don't have a lot of engagement on your account, then it won't like too much your account. And so get engagement. So choose a very precise hashtag where you can connect with people who will really like your content and connect with it. So bye-bye, everybody. Thank you very much. And have a nice week.
Fantastic. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.